Take a look at this beast, the new Kawasaki Teryx 4 H2. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this machine. We've been wanting Kawasaki to bring something supercharged to the table in the side-by-side world for quite some time. So let's dive in there. Let's talk about this thing. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really done a lot of digging around when it comes to the details here. So you guys are going to experience this with me for the first time. I haven't read this website yet, so let's see what Kawasaki has brought to the table here. And first of all, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Real Rider series, where we talk to you about real stuff in the power sports industry, specifically side-by-side related. So this is going to be a no BS type video. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, and you guys can chime in the comments, let me know what you think. So let's start off by watching the video.
It's true then.
I've tested everything.
All right, feels like I'm watching a movie here.
But this was the sound. It could change direction like that. Speeds, not of this earth. Heard whispers through the ranks for years, and we all thought it was a psyop. Shocking breakthroughs, hush-hush patents.
You know, I don't know a single soul who has clearance on H2.
Then again, I just drive the damn thing.
Sweet.
Would I do it again?
You bet you will.
Built beyond belief. Okay, yeah, let's see, guys. Let's see what we got here. Pretty cool little teaser there. So let's explore what the Teryx X45 H2 has to offer. Yes, that 4.5 means that it comes in a 4-seat configuration or a 5-seat configuration. If you're wondering and you're paying attention to the image here on the screen, yes, it is a 4-seater. Or a 4-door, and they are not releasing a 2-seat, 2-door model at this moment. I don't know the details on when that's coming. I know a lot of you guys will not want a trail limo, but at the same time, I think it's really cool, and I think it's also going to fuel the sale of these bigger machines. And then the people that want the 2-seater will probably have to wait maybe until like next year where they release it. Stipulations here, it's just me thinking about it. So let's go through this. As I mentioned, I have not looked or read through much of this marketing material. I've just kind of seen some teasers and some pics on social media and online. But you guys that have been watching the channel will know that we have a lot of experience with the KRX platform and we love it. So let's dig in there. So yeah, the new Teryx H2 and Teryx 5 H2 high performance side-by-sides are designed for dune and desert domination. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can trail ride them. The 250 horsepower 999cc inline 4 supercharged engine is harnessed by a continuously variable transmission, a rubber band. I know a ton of you guys are going to be bummed out to see that this thing is CVT. But we're not going to get into the CVT versus direct drive argument or discussion here. It's going to get too drawn out. But there are pros and cons to both systems, and that's just the way it is. However, if they're claiming this to be a desert dominator, then I can see how a lot of you guys would want to argue that CVT might not be the way to go. But let's see how they perform when they get out there. Let's see if they've made some changes to the CVT before we judge them too hard. It's got complemented by long travel suspension that helps balance the engine's massive power for maximum control. The KRXs have always been well sprung, well suspended, so it's going to be really cool to see how they've improved on that. Predictable handling, confident stopping power, add to the well-balanced package, delivering maximum fun that can be shared with the whole family. Yeah, I mean, I've got a family, I know a lot of you guys do, and having a trail limo with some stats like this one can be a heck of a lot of fun, I'm sure. So yeah, let's go through smooth linear power. We won't, I mean, I guess we can rip through this quickly. 250 horsepower, they're claiming, I'm assuming at the crank. Smooth linear power and acceleration with continuously variable transmission on the fly, electrically selectable 2-4 wheel. Front diff lock, adjustable power mode selection. That's cool to see the different power modes offered. Highly rigid frame with integrated rollover. Obviously, it's got a roll cage. Estimated dry weight, 2291 pounds. Ground hugging long travel suspension with fortified A-arm and trailing arm suspension. What we'd expect. I mean, yep, they stuck to the A-arm. It's not going into Maverick R territory here with that funky setup. Large diameter hydraulic discs, so 270 millimeter, 27 centimeter discs. That's cool. It's interesting to me that they're listing weight in pounds, but disc brake sizes in millimeters, so we're mixing it up here. So I'm just sorry, it's the OCD in me. Sleek low profile silhouette with aggressive front end design. Right away I'm seeing that front end's chopping down a lot more than the old one used to. Sleek, roomy automotive style interior with up to 5 passenger seating. That's going to be really interesting to look into in a few minutes when we dig into those pictures. D-shaped steering wheel, cool, better knee clearance, stuff like that. Automotive style control interface, 7-inch high grade full color TFT, dash instrumentation with all the stuff you'd expect out of a machine in this era. Dual exit exhaust in the rear, and some weird cool river mark emblem. Neat. Okay, so here, let's go through this quick. I mean, this right here, MSRP, the prices, that's the deciding factor. We all want one. Can we all afford one, or can we all justify this type of money? So these are all US funds. So it's starting at $37,199. Second model's at $43,199. So pretty good hike there. And then up to $43,699 for what looks to be the 5-seat deluxe version. Let's just focus on that. That's what we all want to see. So for all of our Canadian viewers, for example, this $43,700 translates into about $61,000 Canadian. Once you add in our ridiculous sales taxes, additional fees and stuff like that, you're looking at a unit that's probably going to crest and break the $70,000 Canadian mark for entry point. And it doesn't look like it has a windshield in the front or the rear. It comes with 33s, but you're going to want 35s or 37s. You know, there's going to be stuff on this you need to upgrade. So the reality is, over the first year, this machine's going to cost you $80K in Canada, and so in the States, you can pretty much assume that you're looking at, you know, $43,000 plus whatever tax your state might have, plus a few upgrades and some creature comfort changes you might want to make it yours, whether that's lighting or a windshield and stuff like that. So I said you gotta basically expect this thing's going to cost you somewhere in the $50,000 range, without going wild building it up. And now if you want to start diving into building this thing, you know, we're gonna be in the same territory as a lot of these Pro Rs or the Expeditions, where it's not hard to drop 80,000 US on a side-by-side build these days. So just so you guys know, we're not going to be nitpicking too much here. We're just going to be looking at what Kawasaki's telling us, and the reality is, the only way we're going to know what this thing really does and how well it works is by getting it in the hands of creators like myself, getting it out on the trails, you guys getting it out on the trails, we getting it out on the trails and filming it and doing it over and over again to see how the machine you know, holds together, performs. If it's anything like the previous KRX, we should expect a pretty high bar to start from. So it's got 2 high back bucket seats up front, 3-person high back contour sport bench in the rear. This is the 5-seater, pretty cool. Predictable handling, yeah, with sensitive power steering, speed sensitive, obviously. Fox 3.0 live valve internal bypass shocks. It's got the Kawasaki electronic control suspension, the KEX, with acceleration sensors, pretty cool. 10-in Garmin tread offer. Oh wow, it's got like a Garmin tread integrated navigation system. That's really cool. 33-inch carnivores with 16-inch beadlock wheels. Neat. They went up to a 16. That's pretty cool. That's also going to limit some of your tire options on the OEM wheels, which is going to force you to buy some new wheels, which is fine. I mean, all these companies want to fuel the aftermarket, whether they admit to it or not. Lots of storage, convenience features, USB outlets, sockets, blah, 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 plastic roof. Cool. Anyways, top features. Let's dig into this. 250 HP supercharged performance at the heart of all the new Teryx 4H2 and Teryx 5H2 high performance side-by-sides is Kawai's newest 250 horsepower supercharged engine, and it's built beyond belief. So let's explore more about that. 4-stroke, 4-cylinder supercharged inline 4. raises the bar. Since the supercharger is driven by the engine rather than the exhaust, the Teryx does not have the lag associated with turbochargers and benefits from strong instant acceleration. Yeah, I mean, a supercharger has its pros and its cons. I mean, at the same time, you can argue that it's using power to spin that supercharger, whereas a turbocharger is using waste resources like exhaust gas to power itself. But yeah, you know, that instant hit off the line should be better off a supercharged unit. It's going to be really cool to see how this thing performs, especially once all those awesome aftermarket companies start tuning these things. That's going to be like next level. What else we got here? Actually, just let me double check if I am recording this right now. I am. Okay, good. So that's the engine in a nutshell. Sound. The sound of performance. In addition to exhilarating howl of the inline 4, you're treated to 2 exciting, enhancing sounds unique to the supercharged engine. Obviously, you're going to get that supercharger scream. The chirping sound, like that of the Ninja H2 Hypersport motorcycle, produced when letting off the throttle suddenly from high RPM, causing an abrupt drop in impeller speed. That you're used to, the compressor surge. The other is low growling sound unique to the Teryx H2 side by side. It's heard when the back pressure waves hit. So yeah, it's going to give you those cool yin yang curly boy sounds that all of us boosted guys love. I mean, I love hearing my turbo. I love hearing the supercharger, that scream. I mean, you know, whether you drive a diesel and you got an exhaust on it, or you got a sports car and you got an exhaust on it, you know, part of that experience is the sound, and it's gonna be really, really cool to see what the aftermarket exhaust companies bring us for this thing as well. Smooth acceleration, use of high capacity rubber belt in the CVT. Sure. Capable of withstanding high HP, high RPM was key in achieving smooth linear power and acceleration. I mean, let's be real. We're going to have to see how these function and how they hold up in the real world when you get a bunch of rednecks driving them. You know, things really change at 2 in the morning on a Saturday night when, you know, the boys are telling you to hit it again. Yeah, I don't think the engineers always have that same range of testing freedom that the guys out in the back 40 do. So I'm not gonna, I mean, for real, like, obviously these guys have put a lot of time into dialing in this CVT, and the CVT setups on the KRXs in the past have been very good. Let's see here. Adjustable power delivery. So 2-wheel drive offers light steering, 4-wheel drive offers enhanced traction while keeping steering light. 4-wheel drive plus front differential lock offers maximum traction. So yeah, obviously anytime you got a locked front end, the steering is going to feel tight. Power to weights. This is somewhere that the KRX original 1000 KRX platform struggled. A lot of people would bust chops. A lot of the other brand biased guys would say, you know, the power to weight ratio on your machine sucks, it's slow, it's a turd, and then they were. KRXs were known to be slow. You weren't winning any drag races with them, but they didn't lack power on the trails, and they were able to put that power down to the ground really, really well, as you can see in a lot of our videos. They climb like a billy goat, and it's hard to compete with them. They don't need the power to make the climb. It's about usable, real-world power and getting that power to the ground. It's not about just wheel spin. So from the crankshaft, the cams, pistons, connecting rods, and drive shaft to the frame and suspension were all purpose-built and designed with robust strength to be able to handle the high power of supercharged engine. The very linear power delivery facilitates control while still being quick on its feet thanks to the light overall weight. The Teryx H2 Deluxe ES side-by-side boasts 250 horsepower and an estimated dry weight of 2363, resulting in a 9.4 pound per horsepower ratio, which is pretty good. I off the top of my head, I can't tell you what the power to what that breakdown is on like a Pro R or a Maverick R, so I'm not going to comment on that. But we'll see how strong this engine is and how it holds up to tuning. When you start cranking more boost out of these things and giving them aggressive tunes, running them on like E85 or something like that, you know, if this is taken from the Kawasaki H2 engine that they use in their other, like in their street bikes, I mean, this is going to be very promising. Intake and exhaust. So we're seeing a picture here, a breakdown of the intake system. Looks like on both sides they have a nicely highly snorkeled from the factory intake for both the CVT and the engine. But look at that. that's the exhaust for the CVT. It's still under the bed. So for all of us guys that like to do water crossings or find ourselves in mud sometimes, even if you're not looking for it, sometimes you find yourself in a predicament. I would really love to see these companies start just raising that CVT exhaust to the same level as the intakes are. But we won't dig too deep into that. It looks like it's pretty well protected. It's not going to get splashback, so maybe it'll do all right going through the water. And trust me, if we get our hands on one of these, we will be testing that feature pretty quick. So yeah, dual snorkel air intakes, as we can see. As the impeller pumps air into the supercharger, the high pressure air is then routed to an intercooler, so it's intercooled. Yeah, what we'd expect. I don't want to drag on too long in all these places. I don't want to make this like an hour-long video. We just want to go over the basics. So far, what I'm reading is kind of what I was hoping for, what I'd expect. But let's dig into this. So, coming with 33-inch tires and acceleration sensors, knowing that power is nothing without control, Kawasaki engineers went to great lengths designing the trans, frame, and suspension to allow drivers to take full advantage of the engine's potential, resulting in smooth linear power delivery, a highly composed character, predictable handling, and confidence-inspiring brakes. So let's see some more. Those shocks look badass. I mean, yeah, guys, I want an H2. I really wish I could add one to the fleet early on and show you guys what it can do. I mean, do you guys think I should get an H2? We'll dig into that in a future video. I'll post something once I get a bit more info here. We'll talk about my thoughts and the reality of actually adding one of these to the fleet, because I do think it would be really cool. And I think through AdrenalineJunkieProd, we could do a really, really good job showing people what they can really expect on the trails in the real world. With this machine, we did a really good job early on showing you guys what the KRX1000 platform was capable of when it came out, and we've continually brought you a lot of good KRX content, so it would make sense to get an H2 into the fleet and show you what it can do. And I'm noticing right there, just by looking at it, it's got a nice 5-bolt wheel. So it comes with 16-inch wheels, like we said, 33-inch Maxxis Carnivore Plus tires. Okay, I'm not sure what those are, but they were designed for high-speed operation. Ooh, so maybe it's just a slightly different belt setup or a radial setup. I'm not sure. We don't need to dig into that. But when I look at the fact that it's coming on 33s, I'm just thinking that the first thing a lot of people are going to do are put 35s or 37s on these. And I mean, that's just what's happening. 35s have become the new norm. If it comes with a 33, it can easily handle a 35. I mean, even a Turbo R Razor or a Pro R Razor can handle 37s pretty much stock. So I'm assuming these are going to do the same thing. And I mean, the KRX1000s, they handle 35s no problem. So I would assume that we're going to start seeing some big meets on these machines real quick. 16-inch aluminum flow-formed wheels offer both lightweight and high strength. So they're not like a typical cast. It's a flow form, slightly different casting. On Teryx H2 Deluxe ES side-by-side models, the wheels feature beadlock rims. That's cool out there. They should be sending beadlocks on all of them, let's be real, but whatever. They got to cut some corners somewhere, I guess. So it's got the KEX with acceleration sensors here. Let's read into this a little bit. So it's got the Fox 3.0 internal bypass shocks with position-sensitive damping to deliver a plush, predictable ride. Enhance the ground-hugging suspension with Kawasaki electronic control suspension, massive Fox 3.0 live valve, internal bypass shocks with electronically controlled compression dampening, deliver superior composure and enhanced performance across a wide range of riding situations. Can you say marketing jargon, or can you say marketing jargon? There is a lot of heavy hitting words in there. Let's see how these words translate to the real world, but once again, my hopes are very high. Acceleration sensors mounted on the suspension arms and trailing arms enable more rapid sensing of changes in the terrain. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, we're used to seeing this stuff on some of the other machines as well, like the Smart Shocks on Can-Am or the dynamic setup on the Razor. So it's nice to see Kawasaki following through, and they've already got that system on some of their other KRXs. Confident stopping power. Nice to see some nice big 3-pot brake calipers on there. The 3-pots have been on the Razors for a long time, but it's nice to see that. It looks like a really nice setup. I'm interested what the hub design is like behind that, what the wheel bearings look like, but generally speaking, the KRX1000s were very well known for getting a lot of life cycle out of their rare components, whether it be brake pads or wheel bearings and stuff like that, much more than some of the other brands. At the front are four 270mm large diameter pedal brake discs with 3 piston calipers and twin pistons in the rear, so very similar to what we see on a lot of the other platforms. delivers superb braking force. A lot of these higher end machines have very, very good braking, and they need it. It offers confident speed management when entering a corner or coming to a stop. If you haven't driven one of these like high-end flagship models yet, then holy cow, they get going fast really quick. One little application of the throttle like kicks you up so much. It's really easy to feel like the machine is not slowing down as fast as you want to because you're going way faster than you think you are. So braking is so important in my mind. You need to be confident with both your acceleration and your ability to slow down. Tailored engine braking characteristics offer reassuring support on challenging descents, especially in low gear. Kawai's always been good at engine braking, so I'm sure that's going to be good as well. As the driver pushes the brake pedal, the rear brakes engage first, followed by the front brakes. Cool. That's neat. This offers a very natural linear brake feel that facilitates precision brake force control. Pulling the parking brake lever, conveniently located between the front seats, activates the rear brakes. Now, I'm not sure how much bite that parking brake will have out of the box, but I mean, it'd be really cool if you could lock those rear wheels up so you could hoon around a little bit, you know, drift style. Let's see, calm in the cab. Okay, cab. We see somebody in the middle there, 5 people. That's pretty cool. I mean, yes, the 5 people barrier has been broken by the Expedition already from Polaris, but this is a completely different machine. This is a sport model, not like a crossover. I don't even know what to call the Expedition, and it's kind of sporty, but it's more of an, I don't know. We'll leave that there. This is a Kawi video. Even during sport riding, the cab is remarkably calm thanks to a highly rigid frame and stable platform offered by the wide 74-inch wide stance. Okay, and a 126-inch wheelbase. It's a limo, complemented by massive long travel suspension. Gonna feel really stable at this width and length, that's for sure, even at speed. Once you get some of the pros in here dialing that suspension and tuning the power, these things are, if you're starting at 250, I mean, a mild tune will probably unlock 300 horsepower out of these things. With some suspension tuning, I think these could be really, really wicked units. Designed using Kawai's advanced dynamic rigidity analysis. Some sort of nerd talk. The frame incorporates the rollover protection structure, ROPS, as a stressed member. The structure achieves a balance of low-profile silhouette and sufficient headroom. The ROPS is made from high-tensile steel, with the B, C, and D pillars positioned as far out as possible to allow more room in the cab. In this picture, it looks pretty roomy. I mean, once you get some of you bigger Southern boys in there, you know, if you and your buddy are both 300 plus, that gap in the middle there might decrease, but the Kawais are... The KRXs have always been known for having a roomy cab, so even if you're a bigger rider, a lot of guys like the KRX because they feel like they fit in there really well. And I mean, that's not a hit at skinny guys or thick guys, it's just, it is what it is. Let's read more about these acceleration sensors. So it's got soft, normal, firm mode, selected on the fly, on the steering wheel like we're used to in other machines. And on the Polaris, you don't even have your red oh no button where you can firm up the suspension if you've kind of like overshot. Looks like they've got some multimedia buttons on the right there for your volume and track selection, stuff like that. Probably helps you control the GPS as well. Handling, yeah, let's hear about the handling. I mean, you can read about handling all day, but until you get in one of these machines and you try it, I mean, it's just a bunch of words. So I'm really excited to finally get into one of these. I don't know when that's gonna come. I think these things are supposed to release in August, so that's coming up soon. When it comes to sport riding, predictable handling is important. Yes, it is. When the wheels turn, the long travel suspension, large diameter tires work together to redirect the vehicle. Cool. I mean, I think they're running a 16-inch wheel as well to reduce the amount of sidewall on the tires because that will help aid in better high-speed rigidity and handling as well. You don't want too much of a sidewall when you're riding in really high speed conditions. Double wishbone front suspension with long upper and lower A-arms use a fortified high strength molded construction to achieve the rigidity needed for the wide stance, benefiting high speed control and enabling strong, firm braking. Rear beefy 4-link trailing arm suspension also features fortified hard strength molded construction to handle the higher speed range. Neat. Okay, cool. I mean, doesn't seem like anything in there is like a breakthrough in that sense. I mean, we're just reading, like I said, so let's dive into where this machine really seems to be different. And look at that, we're looking at the rear 3-seat configuration here. It's like a rear kind of bench / bucket. They don't compromise on delivering enjoyment to you and your passengers, whether it's ease of getting in and out or strapping into the well-padded ergonomic seats. The roomy cab and its high-grade automotive-style finish add to the thrilling supercharged experience. Let's explore more. So the cabin looks like they've improved it. The KRX1000 interior fit and finish left a lot to be desired. It really just had a very, very basic feel. It was functional, but it didn't have much in the sense of like finesse in it. It wasn't very pretty. No one would go in there like, ooh, wow. It looks like they're addressing that here. So a high-grade D-shaped tilt steering wheel further enhances the automotive-style dashboard and controls. Position within reach. The big benefit of the D-shaped wheel is, especially for us taller or bigger guys, you're not hitting your knees as much. I'd love to feel how responsive the steering rack on this is. Is it like a close ratio rack? Is it very responsive? I'd like to see what the steering radius is on one of these big, long 4 or 5 seaters. What's the seats? Let's take a look at these seats. Yeah. So the front seats look pretty cool. We got a bucket there. In typical Cowie fashion, I'd assume the fit and finish on the seats is pretty good. A pair of leveler adjustable. I'm assuming that meant to say level. Guys, come on. This is the launch. You should be proofreading your website. Don't you have AI for that? I'm just teasing. So 2 high back bucket seats in the front are complemented by 2 more high back bucket seats in the rear. High backed 3-person contour sport bench can be found on the 5 passengers. So they're running quad buckets or a kind of bucket bench hybrid. All seats on the my opinion is, like, if I was getting one of these and it offers a 5-seat configuration, I'd be getting the 5-seat configuration. I mean, think of how fun it would be to take 4 people with you on a joyride, and this machine should have more than enough power, suspension, width, and length to handle that cargo capacity. I would love to feel how this thing functions and works and how the suspension feels when you do get 5 adults in it, though. Most of the 4-seaters, you really feel it when you load it up, and you really do lose a lot of ground clearance, so I'm wondering how they are addressing that here. Seatbelts offer extremely smooth action for easy adjustability and stress-free operation. They also cleverly retract into holes in the seat backs for a tidy appearance. Love that. Love the retractable harnesses. 9 out of 10 times, the retractable harness is like the best thing out there. Tech. Nice. Big step up on the gauge cluster there by the looks of it. I am partially kind of preferable to having the gauges right behind the wheel. I like that race car analog feel, but I have become more used to this center-mounted digital display that does everything, so I'm not going to complain about that by any means. It looks very nicely laid out. Mounted on the steering column behind the steering wheel, the large 7-inch. Oh, is this behind the wheel? Hold on, let me go back. Am I talking myself into a hole here? I can't tell. It looks center-mounted to me, but I could be completely wrong. We'll see in some upcoming pictures. Full 7-inch TFT screen, different display modes, includes a camera mode compatible with accessory front and rear cameras. In camera mode, the instrumentation automatically switches to the rear camera once you pop it into reverse. So what you'd expect, really. Built-in smartphone tech, obviously. Rideology, the app Power Sports. Riders get vehicle info directly from instrument panel along with vehicle management and maintenance features. The Kawasaki exclusive app also has trip recording and group rides so you can share your memorable journeys. Pretty cool. I think that's neat. It's 10-inch. The ES side-by-side comes with a 10-inch Garmin Tread off-road navigation system. That is really cool because the Garmin Treads have really stepped things up over the last few years. Garmin had a few hiccups along the way with some of their bigger units, but it feels like they've really worked the bugs out. And I've got a Garmin Tread, and it's a really powerful unit. It has audio system capability, vehicle running information, really just everything you would expect. Playback is supported by 4 speakers built into the doors, and the speakers are dustproof and waterproof. For enhanced sound, a 10-inch accessory subwoofer can be installed under the front right passenger seat. A lot of the stock systems are very flat sounding, so adding a sub really helps out. I've never been huge into the audio in the side-by-sides, but I know a ton of you guys love it, and I don't hate on it by any means, so it's nice to see that they've integrated that. And I mean, it's expected, especially at this price point. Take leisure time fun to extreme with up to 5 passengers. So additional 300-pound rear carrier. The interior offers a number of convenient storage spaces and pockets. I like to hear that. Interior storage space on all these machines has always been something they have not done a good job covering, and that's not just specific to Kawi, but all the brands in general. A lidded compartment built into the dashboard above the center console has 2 USB-C charging ports, passenger side glove box with built-in DC socket, power supply up to 120 watts for accessory items or personal devices. Another centrally located DC socket offers power for the rear passengers. Cool. 8 cup holders total are available. Nice. Storage net on the back of the front seats. Handy. Gloves, extra pair of, pants or a shirt or something like that, a jersey. Storage space is just a premium in these, and especially on longer weekend rides, it's really nice to have it. Low profile silhouette design. So let's get into these design features. It was important that the Teryx H2 look the part. Sleek, low-profile design, wide stance, aggressive front end are complemented by luxuriously painted lime green bodywork, a head-turning combination that conveys both its high level of performance as well as its high-grade build. I mean, come on, if a Kawi's not green, is it really a Kawi? Look at the part. Low-profile silhouette design. Or look the part. With its sleek, low-profile silhouette, large intake scoop on the hood adds to the sporty design and helps direct cooling air to the tandem radiators. The blacked out front grille is flanked by aggressive LED accent lights and compact LED headlights, giving the H2 a fierce expression. I'd love to see one of these companies put in some vents that actually direct air inside the cabin. I'd love to... I'm going to love to see how they're controlling the heat inside this cabin as well. We all know that a lot of the machines get really, really hot inside, especially when you slap some windshields in them. So I'm wondering how this one's going to be. The KRX1000, they would get brutally hot on a hot summer day, especially with the windshield. There'd be no airflow in the bottom section of the machine and the footwells, and you'd just be cooking in there. The H2 Deluxe ES models, the front and rear suspension components are also painted lime green, so they're just adding a bit more visuals to that. I love the color-coded A-arms. It makes the machines look so mean, especially on video and in pictures. Exhaust, cool. The exhaust looks really neat from the factory, but I mean, I just want to see what the aftermarket's going to bring for this. I mean, look at that. It's screaming and asking for a nice 2 big muffler tips coming out of there, maybe some carbon fiber, something nice and sporty, probably a bypass valve or a dump valve so we can get that wide open sound or that quiet sound if we need it. So it's got the dual exit, features a 4-to-1-to-1 pre-chamber silencer layout with the pipe length optimized to complement the high output engine. At the rear, the distinctive dual exit exhaust is a visual cue. This is no ordinary side-by-side. Well, no, it's pretty cool. It looks good. And supercharged engines, they also sound really cool. So they seem to be putting a lot of emphasis on this Kawasaki River Mark. The Kawasaki River Mark emblem is proudly displayed on the front hood, steering wheel, and ignition key, an indication that the Teryx H2 side-by-sides are the flagship of the Teryx family, a symbol prominently featured on Kawasaki's most prestigious and high-performance machines. So this is something you would see on their high-end street bikes, and it's really cool. I hope they've pulled in a lot of the tech, engineering, and performance from that street bike line here. Nice. Supercharged intercooler, it's all painted red for more performance. We know red adds power and torque. The bright red net style intercooler cover in the rear emphasizes the sporty high performance image. See, I told you, it's sporty. The cover also reads supercharged. Thank you. A reminder that this innovative flagship machine is powered by a supercharged engine. Yep, as far as I know, the first supercharged side-by-side, and I mean, I know a lot of us have wanted this for a long time and wish we could have seen it sooner, but it's nice to see that Kawasaki brought us the first supercharged unit because they have a pedigree in supercharging smaller engines like this, and I think we can expect to experience some really good performance out of it. Accessorize your ride. I'm not going to dig into this. There's going to be a ton of accessories, and I know that the aftermarket is probably just drooling right now about this thing. So gallery, looks like no pictures, just a bunch of videos. Yeah, I know the aftermarket's going to be drooling over this thing. I'm sure like some of the bigger brands have already had their orders in and they're waiting for delivery if they don't already have pre-production models to be developing components, whether it's suspension or bumpers or cages or windshields. We all know that the aftermarket is what fuels this industry. looking at this machine here at the front end, it looks like they've really sliced it down on an angle. They've removed the longer hood that the KRX has. You've seen a similar slice down on the new Razor models as well. And I know a lot of you guys will think it looks a little weird because, you know, we're used to that hood design. We like that drawn out front end, but this gives you better approach angles, and it gives you less overhang, but most of all, it gives you a better visibility. When you cut down the angle of the hood like that, you no longer really see the hood when you're sitting in the machine, and it gives you really good visibility out of the machine. So that would be my thought process behind why you're seeing these design cues in a lot of these off-road machines. This design is not based on aesthetics alone. This design is based on drivability. So it's nice to see that. So I mean, I don't know what the big differences are here, 37 or 44 basically. You know, 4 high back seats. So this is a 4-seater. Obviously this one, the ES has the Garmin 10-inch display. It's got the 5-seat configuration, so I'm assuming you're paying extra for that. And it's got the bead locks, but this one has the bead locks too, but this one doesn't. So the base model, you're not getting the bead locks. You're probably getting a different display, stuff like that. It's got Fox 2.0 internal bypass shock. Oh, see, you don't get the live valves on the base model. I'm gonna level with you guys. If you're actually gonna go out and you're gonna dish out this amount of money, get at least the H2 Deluxe ES in the 4-seat configuration. We're talking 6 G's, but honestly, I really think it's worth it for the live valve shocks alone. I think it's really worth it. You throw in the beadlock wheels as well. The tire size stays the same, but I'm gonna say, you know, the shock package is what makes a lot of these machines, and it looks like the seats look a little different between the two. So I would go at least to this route. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If I was gonna spend this money, I'd be getting the H2 Deluxe ES in the 5-seat configuration, because I mean, that's the flagship. This is the machine they want you in. This is the machine that they put the real work into. They have to offer you these ones to just kind of give some more options for people if this one's out of their budget. But let's be real, a lot of these manufacturers are really pricing a lot of us out at this level. You can still get a KRX1000. I mean, they're still sweet units and they're going to be cheaper, but at this price point, 44,000 US, you know, plus fees and taxes, you're looking at 46, 47 grand. With a few upgrades, you got 50K there. It's a ton of money that, you know, a fair share of us can't afford. And I'm not complaining. I mean, a lot of us can't afford Ferraris. I'm not telling people to stop buying or building Ferraris or Lambos or something. I appreciate all those cars. They're really cool. I just, you know, it obviously also this trail limo setup in the 4-seater is going to impact what people want out of it, or like, or who wants it. You know, a lot of people don't want a 4-seater. It's not as nimble, it's not as sporty. It'll be fine in the desert, but if you want to trail ride this thing, I'm really interested to see if they'll have like a trail model and a 2-seater coming out next year, and that'll really, you know, turn a lot of heads. But you know, if you're gonna build a 4-seater, I think this is a really cool one to build up. So if you guys like what you see, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, and you know, check out the videos of these machines in action. I'm hoping we'll have one of these soon, but we got tons of KRXs and tons of the other machines going up against the KRXs, so you can see how these machines perform in the real world on the AdrenalineJunkieProd YouTube channel. And for all you guys checking out now, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. But for you guys that want to stay, let's watch through some of these videos together, and let's see what they've got to offer. I hope you can hear the audio okay. Yeah, I mean, the engine looks badass. That's a lot of engine. Nice intercooler setup there. Inline 4. Looks like a 4-valve setup. So 4-valve, so 16-valve engine. CVT. Huge shocks in the background there. Looks like what you'd expect. See, it's got a thermal sensor, so similar to what you'd see in the KRXs right now. As you notice, that's an air temperature sensor. It wasn't a belt temp sensor, so to speak. Look at all that long drive line. I wonder what the front diff looks like in the front. built beyond belief. Okay, cool. The good times roll. Oh, for sure. Let's look at the shocks here. That front end looks good. Look at those A-arms. Oh yeah. See, they're saying they're molded. Take a look at that. Looks beefy. Man, that's evil. Nice trailing arm. Radius rod setup looks common to what we've seen in the past. Arched for clearance. I wonder if the frame's bolted together or it's one piece welded. Nice wheel. There we are. That's what I'm talking about. That's a lot of shock. Look at those things. Ah, man. That's what I want to feel. I want to feel the ride quality. Like I said earlier, the KRXs are known for having a really nice, high-quality ride and suspension, especially when you tune them. It's going to be really cool to see how they've stepped that up. Interior, this is a big one for a lot of us because they've really changed it up here. Cool to see these like concept style art drawings. Look at that. Yeah, it is a... Oh, I see I was wrong. It's got a center mount and a digital gauge in the middle. That's awesome. Super awesome. Yeah, that looks badass. Way to go, Kawasaki. They really leveled up. Look at the light up switches. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Nice switch panel for all your accessories. Let's see those seats. Those look good. I wonder how comfy they are. It's nice to see a quality seat out of the factory though. Yeah, you're gonna need that handle for sure if you're driving that thing right. Here's the rear seats in the 4-seat configuration, and there's the rear bench. That's cool. That center seat, I don't know how comfy it would be, but for kids it'd be good. Look at that, dual screens on the Deluxe. So yeah, we got that big 10-inch screen and then your center screen. That's awesome. Love it. Gives me that street bike feel. The tread, yeah. A lot of adjustment in the tilt there. Both the front seats are sliding, nice. Looks pretty good. Looks decently roomy in the rear. What else we got here? Before we finish up, let's quickly just look through the gallery here. They've got a lot of really nice photos that'll probably give us a better taste of what to expect here. I mean, this is a sweet, sweet looking unit. There's no doubt about that. I've always liked the styling of the KRX. Look at that thing. Looks mean. It looks huge. Wow. You'd never see one of the old KRXs shooting a roost like that. And excuse me if I've been calling this thing the KRX here and there. It's habit. It's the H2. We'll try to refer to it as the H2. The rear end looks nice. Still has that similar feel that we had from the previous model, but obviously they've switched around the tail lights. It looks like they've given us a nicer storage box in the back there with obviously probably like an option. You can add that storage box. Look at that thing. Out in the desert. I'm really wondering how this thing's going to perform out on the trails. It looks like they're really just trying to hit that big power, you know, high speed, big suspension market here. It looks like they're going after the Polaris RZR Pro R and the Maverick R from Can-Am. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's like the horsepower shootout, the suspension shootout here. But in the past, we know that those other platforms have done well on trail riding as well, sometimes with a few tweaks and modifications. But generally speaking, they are very versatile units. I mean, that's mean looking. That looks cool too. I mean, imagine this thing on a set of paddles. That would just be straight up badass. Like that there too. Look at that. I wish I was out there testing this thing. Kicking up some sand. Those beadlock wheels look good. Everything looks really nice on this thing. That's a mean shot right there. They must have been having some fun. Imagine getting paid to take these things out for photo shoots and just testing. What a cool job. I mean, I'm not complaining. My job's pretty cool too. Another shot of the display there. Really cool. Really high quality. Hey, if you buy one of these, this is what you get to do. Is the RV included? Showing you how, you know, all the people are getting out of it there. Another interior shot. Holy cow, she's geared up. Is she wearing like winter boots in the desert? No, I don't know. They're so geared up. Is it cold out there? It looks pretty warm. You can put your cooler out back. And now you see here they don't have that additional storage box, so it's obviously like an option from Kawasaki. A really smart, good one. I'm assuming a lot of these images are actually just renderings. They're not actually real images. Some of them are, obviously. This one does not appear to be based on how that intercooler looks, but it shows you like the cover on it. Pretty cool behind your head there. If you're in the back. Back of it, like we saw earlier, super cool looking. I like that they've put a lot of attention to detail into these things. This is what a lot of us were complaining about on the previous model, that, you know, they just didn't put in the extra effort to, you know, spice things up, go that extra mile. And it seems like they've listened. Look at that supercharger hiding there. Nice bolt-on piece there. That's not falling off. That's on there really good. We'll see a picture later where it shows that with it off, I think. I saw one of those somewhere. We see the muffler there. CVT case cover. Yeah, there it is. That's the picture I saw somewhere else. Yeah, look at that. It's nice. Obviously, this looks like a rendering, but pretty accurate. It's amazing what the 3D renderings and the models of today are. I mean, this is how they're designing this stuff. It's so cool. It almost looks real before they even make it. Oh man, that thing looks at home there. I hope it's red on the production models, because we all know red adds power. We've gone over that. Dual radiator setup. I'm not sure what's going on here really. I mean, obviously with the air-to-air intercooler in the back, I'm not sure why there's two rads here. Maybe someone can chime in. Unless it's twin cooled, like the intercooler is an air-to-air and a water-to-air. That'd be kind of neat. Got the exhaust there again. Gas cap, yeah, ain't no hybrid. Steering wheel looks really good. They're boasting automotive quality finishes. They're not kidding. Look at that. Interior really has stepped it up. Wait till I really want to see. Oh man, those switches look cool. Obviously a rendering, but pretty accurate. The holy crap bar. Back of the seats with the nets, like mentioned earlier. Oh, you can see the door speaker there. The door panels look really nice. Once again, that automotive quality. The retractable harnesses all covered up nicely. That's really cool. The interior accent colors, you know, storage spaces everywhere. It looks really nice. The e-brake, high, low, neutral, reverse. Really, really nice looking. Wow, accent lighting in the floors. That, I mean, I don't care what brand you're loyal to or what machine you drive, you can't say this isn't nice. And look at those displays, like straight up, that is badass. The Garmin integration, the main cluster there, wow, that's nice. They've really kicked it up a notch, fit and finish wise inside. Like I said earlier, this is really where they were lacking in the past, so seeing this puts a huge smile on my face. Look at that, all those spots for other rocker switches, light up on everything. I'm assuming if you get accessories from Kawasaki, they'll pop right in there with similar switches. Oh yeah, you got a boost gauge, PSI. That's sweet. Everybody wants to know how much boost they're hitting. Now I'm wondering if you tune this and put an aftermarket tune on it, is it still going to limit you to 15 PSI there? I mean, you can get an aftermarket boost gauge. I mean, right now I'm just kind of nitpicking and thinking out loud. CVT temp, drive modes, really cool. All the lights on the sides there. Mode select, suspension monitor, really cool. Just what you'd expect, just what you see on some of the other flagship models. That front end looks really mean. I like all the color matched paneling. Look at those A-arms. Whew! Yeah, they resemble some of the other models out there. Yeah, it looks good. Look at that airflow in there. Nice shocks. You can see the rad fluid reservoir level there. Another shot from the back. Look at those reservoirs. They are big. Nice shot of the rim. Rims don't look bad at all. Tires look good. Carnivore's a really good all-around tire, but if they're boasting this thing's you know, a dune machine, I mean, I wonder why they chose this tire. Probably, like I said, just a really good all-around tire. Nice side profile there. Wow, that's what I was waiting for. Look at that. They don't seem to be rocking any door seals, but the fit and finish and how they made up along the, you know, recessed panel down there, it looks really good. Pop her into full screen there. Yeah, wow, that's impressive. That looks really, really good. Seats look freaking awesome too. Definitely one of the nicer OEM seats. Looks to be a rendering, but I'm assuming the end product will be very, very close to this. 4-point harness. Yep, retractable, like we said. Blue accent lighting. I'm wondering, why didn't they go green? Why didn't they go green on the accent lighting, guys? Come on, where's that Cowie green? We bleed green, us Cowie guys. Well, I mean, I'm not a Cowie guy, but I love these things. Always been a big KRX fan, like I said. Yeah, nice big drain plugs there, nothing fancy there. But look at the fit and finish, how everything's closed off. I know we all hate those push pins, but it is what it is. Nice big bed on there. Yeah, that rear profile's nice. Cage looks sleek. Bolt together cage like you expect out of most of them, obviously not a one piece, especially in a 4-seater like this. I guess that'd be asking just a little bit too much, but I would like to see that. I really would like to see the one piece cages, but you got to remember, logistically, for shipping and transport and stuff like that, this makes it a heck of a lot easier, and it also makes it so that you can replace components if you just damage one piece. I understand why they do it. 2-piece roof, once again, same thing. You know, making a 1-piece roof like that would be crazy, hard to ship. You know, there's a lot of variables that come into design here. It's not just aesthetics and performance, but speaking of aesthetics, those keys look real cool. We got some sort of 250 horsepower. Nice. Torque curve. Yeah, it looks cool. I wonder how it feels. Just a shot of the drivetrain here, like we'd expect. Looks like we got a separate rear diff set up there, like we should have, and the front diff, I don't know if that's very similar to the previous one or fully redesigned. Not sure. Maybe someone else can chime in. I've been around these machines a lot, like the Cowies, like the KRX1000s, but I'm not going to say I've worked on them or I know them inside out. That looks really cool. The intercooler setup there with the fan. So it's an air-to-air setup. The intake snorkels like we saw in some of the previous video clips there. All really cool. Idle collar there. Okay, cool clutch setup like that. Nice. Stepped transmission. Cool. So this is like them. This is them kind of arguing why they've chosen a CVT versus a step transmission, is my assumption. You get that linear power application, that smooth driving characteristic. Thermal sensor there, like we mentioned earlier. They're just showing the airflow through the CVT there. Okay, so a 7.6 meter turning radius. I mean, in my head, I can't really even picture that. I'm just going to assume it's like a boat. I mean, realistically, this thing is a limo. It's not going to be as tight turning as any 2-seater. You can't expect that. So it really depends on the terrain you're riding. Man, that looks wicked. Fortified A-arms. Those A-arms look beefy. Beef. Green beef. Yeah. Steering angles. Yeah, just some electronic stuff there. Off-road dimensions. You can look all this stuff up online on the website, guys. They're just showing the adjustable seats again. Harnesses. Okay, cool. So this guy's 5'11", and okay, just kind of give you the scale. I'm 6'4", so my head would be up here. Cool. Nice little up shot or down shot. That person's 5'3" in the back, 5'11" in the front. Yeah, so at 6'4", my head would be sticking up quite a bit more there. Showing you the door speakers. Power supply layout like we talked about. Batteries under the seat by the looks of it, in the rear. Access to the air cleaner. So I guess they're boasting serviceability here. Oil filter and a nice, easy to get to spot out back there. I like to see that. Removable grills like we'd be expecting. Nice and easy for cleaning. A lot of storage compartments like they mentioned. App integration. Obviously you can switch from day and night mode, stuff like that. Pretty cool. Oh, the GPS, yeah, typical Garmin tread layout like you would see on a standalone unit. That's nice. The suspension operation, you know, the readouts, all the different modes, firm and stuff like that you'd expect. Yeah, pretty cool, you know. Firm, normal, soft, yep. The cameras, like we talked about earlier. Really nice visual imagery here. Gives you a better taste of what to expect on this machine. It's really, really, really getting me worked up to see one of these in person, and even more so to see one perform, and hopefully one day get a chance to drive one. Let me know if you guys really think we should test one of these out, get our hands on one. I mean, purchasing one would be tough for me. I mean, we're talking $70,000 Canadian basically by the time it's in our hands and usable. The channel does not have a budget like that. We would have to find some help to pull that off, most likely. Now, I don't know if there's any dealers watching this that would be interested in partnering up or something like that. I'm not expecting a free unit by any means. I don't expect handouts. I don't take handouts in that sense. I do like to partner up with good brands that have similar kind of goals and views to what our channel does. So if anyone there has an idea on how we could partner up, or even, you know, just get a chance to take one of these out and make some good content, then let me know. Get in touch on email. Oh man, that thing looks good. And yeah, we're back to the start. Look at that thing. Let's quickly see if there's some specs on the so this is the 4. Okay, yeah, let's see what oh no, I want to see the base model again. I'm assuming if we go, yeah, there we are. Let's take a quick look at the base models. I want to see if there's any pictures on this one, and then that way we can kind of quickly just see what the differences are. Yeah, they do have a nice gallery here. So obviously we're seeing the wheels, we're seeing the shocks are different, we're seeing this thing comes with no roof. So that's how they're saving you some of that money. I don't know if it comes with speakers or not. Let's dig through these pictures. Looks so different without a roof. Still looks mean. Let's see that cage a bit more. Are the seats different? I didn't pay attention. Oh, it looks like the base model comes with an RV also. Yeah, it looks like a lot of these pictures are being repeated. Let's see, are the seats different? I don't know. I can't really see very well there. It looks like all the bottom pics here are... Okay, so now we're getting some close-ups here of the different suspension renderings. See, the springs are different. Man, they look huge anyways, these shocks. But like I said earlier, guys, wow, big reservoir. Spend the extra money if you can afford it and get the live valve. I mean, that's what this thing was engineered for. If you really want to feel the engineering, if you really want to feel the potential of this machine, I really think you need to get the flagship model. And, you know, the bead locks, all that, it's good to have. That's minor details, but the big deciding factor would definitely be the suspension. It does look like the seats are a little different here. If only the color. I don't know if the fit and finish or comfort is different. See, those ones are like silver. Yeah, instead of like black. I mean, I like them both. I kind of like the dark seats, but the other ones pop too. Yeah, neat. So yeah, realistically, pretty similar for the most part, I'd say. I don't think you'd be disappointed if you got this, what I guess we would call the base model. There's nothing basic about it. Oh, I've been dragging on here, but if you like nerding out about side-by-sides as much as I do, I'm sure you're enjoying. I'm sure you're happy to see Kawasaki has stepped into the game with something that can actually shake things up, like really shake things up. You know, they're not messing around. They're throwing punches. and it finally looks like they're here to compete with the segment that the KRX1000 couldn't compete with in the past. We'll do some more videos like this moving forward, so I'm not going to drag this on too much longer. I really think that's it. I think we've covered pretty much all of this. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'd love to hear whether you'd consider buying one of these. What do you think of the price point and the performance? Do you think that this price tag here of $43,699 is attainable for a lot of people? Who do you think this is directed to? Who do you think is going to hop on this? Where do you think this machine's going to shine? Like, we can tell it'll probably do well out in the dunes, but do you think this thing's going to have trail manners? Are we going to be able to, is this the same billy goat that they gave us in the KRX? Is this going to be a trail machine? Like, are you going to go out there and hurt feelings on the trails? You know, the technical stuff, the rock crawling, the hill climbs, you know, stuff like that we're used to seeing the KRXs dominate in, because the KRX has never really played the high-speed dune game. It's never been that short course racer. So have they put all their focus on that, or have they maintained a lot of that stuff that made the KRX platform as amazing as it is? And that was the slow technical crawlability of the machine and its ability to put the power down to the ground. Is this 250 horsepower going to be usable? Is there going to be a lot of wheel spin? You know, I'd love to hear what you guys think. We're located, I'm in Canada here, so we're going to get this thing probably later than you guys in the States, which sucks. We always kind of get things a little bit behind. Our power sports market is a fraction of what the market is in the United States. I bet it's like 10% or something like that. I mean, we have 10% of the population, so the market might be even smaller than that. We don't get the manufacturer support you guys do in the States. There's not as many events, there's not as many units, and some of the models aren't always available, which is why I like to focus on the US site and stuff like that, because I mean, it's the guys in the States, the market in the States, that dictates the market for the rest of the world when it comes to most power sports, especially side-by-sides and stuff like this. So yeah, just want to hear what you think. Leave a comment, don't hold back, good, bad, anything in between. We want to hear it, we want to discuss it. I'm going to bring you more content about this machine as I have the ability to get it. I'm hopefully going to see one of these in person so we can do a walk around and really touch and feel it. But for the most part, this is just here to tease you, and it was here for me to kind of experience this moment with you guys. This was my first time reading through this page, like I said, so I learned a lot and saw a lot here that I hadn't seen yet before. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed what I brought you here. If you like videos like this, drop me a comment. This is unlike anything I do. I don't usually do videos like this, but I'd be happy to do some more in the future. It might actually be a cool, fun way to discuss some of this stuff here. So we'll bring you some more of them in the future. We'll have a bunch more content coming your way. Trail rides, talking, videos, stuff in the shop. And follow us, like I said earlier, on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. And most of all, smash that subscribe button and like the videos. Share them with your friends if you enjoy them. And if you'd like to get involved in more conversations, share your pictures and your stories, then you can also join our public Facebook group, Adrenaline Junkie Riders and Fans on Facebook. And that's a great place to post your videos, ask questions, and just engage in more industry-related conversation, or really anything else you want to talk about. We're pretty open-minded people. So yeah, as always, guys, ride safe out there, and we will see you in the next video.